Hi everyone, welcome back to day 19 of Vlogmas. I hope you're all doing well. So today is the 18th of December for me. I have got an appointment with my psychiatrist this morning. Thankfully it's one I met because the last few times each psychiatrist I've seen has been different. Just because there's been a lot of changeover. But yeah, I had a really bad experience with one. I can't remember how many appointments ago, but it was not too long ago. And there were complaints filed. My sister who works in mental health services, when I told her what had happened to the appointment, and the follow-up and like the letter and all that, she was absolutely furious. So I always feel nervous going to these appointments now. Thankfully, as I've seen this psychiatrist before, I do feel comfortable going in on my own. But yeah, yeah, just it's one of those things you just obsessively overthink things. So like one of the things that I always obsessively overthink is they always make notes of your appearance, right? And this is actually like a clinical need. You know, they have to have a little look, and it's checking for things like, you know, if you're showering, if your clothes are clean, because it's showing that you're doing things like washing, and making sure that you do, you know, you're presentable going out and all, and the signs that your mental health is doing better, and things like that. You know, do you have big bags under your eyes because you're not sleeping? You know, so there is actually valid reason why they make notes on your appearance, but it does mean I always overly obsess about how I look, what I'm wearing, things like that. Like last time, my last appointment was during the summer, and we actually really were going through a heat wave at the time, which I think we only had for like about 3 days. But anyway, I'd had a shower the night before, went to bed, and like, you know, woke up in the morning, went to this appointment. But because of how warm it was, sweat during the night, you know, my room is in the loft, it is very warm. So, like, you know, my hair was a tad greasy. I did put dry shampoo on, but I remember sitting down and he was like, so Abby, how you doing? I was like, I know my hair's greasy, I did have a shower. That was the first thing, because it's one of those things that I sort of obsess about in my head, because they're the things I can do, you know. So yeah, it's weird, but that's what it's like when going through it. But anyway, yeah, let's open my advents. So, day 18 of the Mousewitch Yarns, the last one in Scotland. Ooh, it's like it's speckles of like navy blue with like a pale blue beyond, and then greeny yellow running through. That's really pretty. That I really like that. I like that bit of blue colour. I do like that in yarn. That's one I really like. So let's see where we are. See if I recognise it. Oh, I know this. I've been to this one. Oh, what's it? Is it Clapton Hill? I think it is, in Edinburgh, where the National Monument Scotland is. I went when I was in university doing my history degree. We did a trip up to Edinburgh, and one of the lecturers, he was Scottish, and he took us on this massive walk, and he ranted about the National Monument Scotland for about 30 minutes, and to be thankful, I'm quite glad he ranted for a little bit, because we just walked up a hill, and he's a quick walker, so I was like, and it gave us time to, like, you know, catch our breath back. So I'm quite glad he decided to rant for 30 minutes at the top of this hill. But basically, it's like this Parthenon sculpture thing that was supposed to be like, never quite really real. It was supposed to be like a big monument to commemorate those who'd lost their lives during the Napoleonic era wars. So it would have been, oh God, it must have been about like 1820s, if I'm correct with my time here. This is not period of history. I'm not much interested. My dates are a bit foggy with this. So yeah, it must be in the early 1800s, around 1820, I think. The Napoleonic Wars. So anyway, this is supposed to be a monument. It was supposed to be like a Parthenon sculpture thing, like a bit like the necropolis in Athens. Is it the necropolis? The big on the hill in Athens, yeah. And this is on a hill in Edinburgh, high above everything. And basically, they didn't get as much money for it as they thought, but like, we're not bothered, so we're going to keep building it. They thought they were going to turn it into like a Westminster Abbey type thing where they were going to bury people in there. They thought, oh, we'll get money off people buying plots. And they ran out of money. And it never got finished. They've spoke about finishing it over the years and just never actually finished it. And in fact, I believe it was the past 2 years, they spent millions on it doing preservation works because it's now like a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And it's called like Scotland's Pride and Poverty Monument sort of thing. Because of the fact that, you know, it's not finished. It looks like it is some Greek classical ruins on the top of a hill in Scotland. And that's because they've never finished it. So, yeah. That's the National Monument of Scotland. I hope I'm right about this, because I hope it is National Monument of Scotland, because if not, I've just give you a lecture on something that has nothing to do with the Advent. Let's say, dating National Monument of Scotland. Oh, look at that. I'm good, me. It's because I've been there. Like a lot of them I've not known. But the next one is Wales that we're going to. We're going to Wales tomorrow, which Wales has a very special place in my heart. I've got family from Wales. My great nan came from a little Welsh mining village down in the Pontypridd area of Wales. Not my nan, my great nan, my Nanny Rosie. And then my parents, when we were younger, they used to own a caravan in North Wales, in Towan, which is right by rail. So most of my childhood and my teenage years, the early ones, they were just spent on weekends in Wales, summer holidays, all down in Wales. And I loved it, and I've got some of my greatest memories are down in Wales. So yeah, it's going to be nice doing the Welsh one, and hopefully I reckon there'll be places that I've been to. But anyway, let's get on to day 18 of my Yarny Corner. Which I like this because it's a double surprise. So I get the surprise when I open the advent calendar. And then there's a surprise when I go on to the YouTube channel to see what picture has inspired the yarn. So it's a lovely double mix. Ooh, it's like a baby blue, that. Gorgeous tonal baby blue. I do really like having these tonals every now and again because it just, you know, it's rather than just the whole blanket being like the variegated yarns, it's that lovely tonal every now and again. It's like more solid one. It's really lovely. So I really like having these in. That gorgeous baby blue there, like a powdery blue. And let's see what the surprise is. A chocolate lime. So, got my cruncher for me mum, chocolate lime for me dad. There you go. I'm going to be world's greatest daughter this morning. I've got to really step on my A game to be the best daughter because my sister really pulled out the hat this year by having a baby. And I am not ready for that level of commitment just yet. Yeah. I mean, I love my nephew. He lights up my world. It's an honour to babysit him at times. And, you know, getting to see him like I'll get to see him today. And I just can't wait. But I am definitely not ready for the commitment of a baby. I like my sleep too much. So, yeah. I've got to do other things. So, you know, wrapping up my presents for my dad. You know, giving them the chocolates at my advent, the ones that I don't like. I'm stabbing it in. I've got to keep it going so I can get there somehow. Anyway, I'm going to get going. I hope you're all doing well, and I'll speak to you in a bit. I do really think this competitiveness is because my mum did used to say to me and my sister as a kid, who wants to be my favourite today, to get us to try and do jobs around the house. I'm fully blaming my mum. Anyway, I'll see you all very, very soon. Good evening, everyone. So, I'm tired. I'm going to go and watch a Christmas film in bed. Let's see how long I can stay awake for. Today's been a tad stressful. We'll just say that. So it started off phenomenal, and then just, it was like a switch flipped, and then suddenly everything went, P-tong. So, thank you, bud. What's it called? So start off, we went to my psychiatrist this morning. It was the same one as last time, which is great because that's not happened for a while. Yeah, it's been years since I've seen the same doctor back to back, and this doctor is so lovely. Yeah, he really is so lovely, and it's more like sat there having a conversation and chatting than it is, you know, feeling like you're in a clinic and getting assessed. Obviously, you know, you are talking about stuff, things get emotional and that, but it is, you know, he's very good at ending it on a positive note, you know, and things like that, and ending it so you're going out of the, you know, session not necessarily just stewing over everything you've just been talking about. Last thing you've said's been, we were talking about Wicked and football. Yeah, so that was, yeah, so it went really, really well. He's going to refer me to the psychologist to go on their waiting list for talking therapy to sort of come to terms with my gastro issues. I want to say diagnosis, but we don't have a diagnosis, and we're not most likely not going to get one, but sort of coming to terms with the symptoms, because there is like the physical symptoms in theory I still should be able to have a normal life, but it's a shame the embarrassment and things like that, you know, put you in that block. So, well, it does hinder you, but there are ways around it, but at the same time, there's all that emotions in, it's a lot harder. You've got to really plan into stuff and things like that. It's, without going into the symptoms, and, you know, you really don't want to hear about the symptoms, it's sort of hard to describe, but yeah, he's referred me to the psychologist, here to go and get support. We're not altering our meds at the moment. We are not at the stage where we want to bring down the antidepressant, because I've got recurrent depressive disorder. Basically just means I'm going to keep getting bouts of depression for the rest of my life, but, you know, I get bouts where I've not got depression, so, you know, swings and roundabouts. Yeah, so when I'm always kept on a low dose of antidepressant, then when a depressive episode hits, they increase, or, you know, and when I come out of a depressive episode, they start to wean me back down to the low dose again, because of all the stress of starting university, the stress of the gastro symptoms. He doesn't want to decrease the antidepressant yet. So yeah, I'm totally on board with that, totally agree with that. So anyway, yeah, it went well. Grabbed my mum, took my mum to her appointment. It went well. Stopped at Costa. My bacon roll was delicious, and we got into the car and started to go home. And it was then, some point then, the switch flipped to where it got stressful. So we pull into my mum's road. Now, my mum lives directly opposite a school, and we knew that when, you know, she knew, her and my sister knew, when they bought their house, 9 a.m, 3 p.m, and 12 p.m, it's going to be a bit bedlam on the street, because they've got a nursery involved, and where they live is directly opposite where the nursery lets out, and some of the classrooms. So when the nursery does let out some kids at 12, it does get hectic as well then. So we know around those periods, yeah, it's going to be a bit hectic and you're going to struggle, you know, to get parked. So me and my dad, if we're going to go and visit them, we'll visit either before that time, so we're parked ready, or we'll visit afterwards. That's just the way we do it. It's, you know, it is what it is. Got no problem with that. But my mum and sister, they have a driveway, which is why they don't mind living opposite the school, because the driveway, you know, is their parking space effectively, and no one else can park there. And that. So anyway, we pull into the street and I see this woman getting over her car and crossing over towards where the school is. And as we get closer, we realise the red car is parked over the dropped curb, which is where the curb's like lowered to the road height so you can get on to the driveway. Now, in the UK, you're not allowed to park on a dropped curb. Even my mum and my sister, even though that is their driveway, they're not allowed to park on that drop curb because no one's allowed to park on a drop curb. So I quickly get out of the car and I go and run over the road to this woman. I'm like, oh, excuse me. I said, you're going to need to just move your car for us, please, just because we need to get onto the driveway. Because at this point, the road, there's every space is taken on this on the side of the road is parked upon. So this one would have to have parked halfway down the street, and I can realise that'll be a real pain in the backside. Yeah, so I really do feel for in that sense. But at the same time, my mum has the right, or we have the right to park on that driveway with my mum and sister's permission, obviously. And also, my mum and dad have disabilities where they struggle with their mobility. So we would not be able to park halfway down the street and them to walk back up, regardless of, you know, that's our property, we can park there anyway. And she was like, oh, she's like, I'm really sorry, I'm running late, I need to, and I'm like, no, please, you need to move the car. I said, you parked over the drop curb. And she went, is that your house then? Rather than going, oh, it's my mum. I was like, yeah. And she was like, I'm really sorry, I feel for you. And I'm like, what's this going? She went, but, you know, we don't own, no one owns spaces on the road, even if we live here. So I sort of have the right to park, as much right to park there as you. In fact, more, because I got there first. I'm like, no. So anyway, I'm back and forth with this woman, like, you could not park on the drop curb. And she's like, I've got every right to park there, no one owns a street. And I'm like, I don't care if anyone owns a street or not, you can't park on a drop curb. Back and forth about 5 minutes, like, and when I talk, I use hand gestures. That's my Aspie symptom, flapping. My parents were wetting themselves in the car because, like, my arms apparently were like, I look like Donald Duck with him moving his arms around. Like, you know, all these over-exaggerated gestures, because when my emotions get intense, whether it's happy or sad, my gestures get more. When I get happy, I go like that. And, like, when I'm, like, excited or nervous excited, yeah, my hands shake like that. So they're wetting themselves laughing in this car, looking at me. I wouldn't say argue with this one, because I was right, she was wrong. She just needed to, you know. So anyway, like, after close to 10 minutes of this, one of the staff comes out of the school to come and lock the gate that we were stood at. And she was like, oh, can I help? Is everything okay? And I was like, this woman, dead arrogantly at this point, may I just say, said to the staff, this woman lives on this street and is demanding I move from a space I got to first because she thinks she's entitled to park there because she lives there. And this one is just like, the staff member's just looking like, what? And like, obviously she just looks down the road and she can see where my dad and my mum are, like, pulled over on the side of it. And she's just looking at the cars, and then she goes to this woman, are you in that red car there? And the woman's like, yes, that's my car. She went, I parked there before they were even on the road. And the staff member went, you can't park there because you're blocking their driving. I was like, yeah, I got very smug at that point. Because I'm like, told you I was right. Yeah. So anyway, the woman begrudgingly moved. And what's it called? Parked halfway down the street and went in. I could see her walking up Scal, and that was, and I do notice the Scal started to slip a bit when she saw my parents with their mobility aids trying to get into the house. I did notice her Scal did dip then, and she was like, okay, maybe I was in the wrong bit there. So that's, yeah. I found it a tad stressful because I knew I was right, and I was like, I'm not stopping. This woman can be late to nativity, all she wants, I don't care. I'm not stopping until this is sorted. My parents, on the other hand, sat in the car with their Costa coffees, with the heating on, in the dry, while I'm stood in the rain, bear in mind. Found it hysterical. So anyway, at least someone had a good time. So we got in the house, you know, sat, chatted with a bit. And that, and then, what's it called? We left, came home, just had sort of a chill night here. And then I got a notification on my phone about half an hour ago. A suspicious login attempt on my Google account. I thought, oh God, not again, not again. If you've not been with me that long, the first Vlogmas on this channel, because I used to have a channel, but it got hacked during Vlogmas. Yeah, while I was in the supermarket, it got hacked. And I lost all access to it. So yeah, I just saw this and I thought, oh God. I was like, not again, not again. So, yeah, basically I immediately logged in on my phone because I was watching it on YouTube. I was watching YouTube on my iPad and a little notification came up and I was like, oh God, pause the video. I'm like that on my phone. I've immediately changed the password, signed all devices out. And I use this password generator. I have this app which basically generates a password. It can be however long you want. It can have symbols in, uppercase, lowercase numbers, mixed, you know, all that sort of stuff. So I've created a new password on that. And the thing is, I don't duplicate passwords ever. So every account has a different one of these randomly generated passwords. So yeah, I've done that. I've just ran the antivirus on my computer just to check that's not how they've managed to try and log in. But yeah, there was nothing on there, so I don't know. But thing is, the only thing logged in now is my laptop, my phone, and now my Windows, my laptop again, because I've just logged in there after I did the virus check on it and made sure that it was okay. So yeah, but I was like, no, not again, please, please, not again. I was like, no, it will push me into breakdown. Oh, I was like, lightning can't strike twice in the same place, surely not. So anyway, yeah, it's been a tad stressful. I'm gonna go to bed, put a Christmas movie on. Me and the dog are gonna cuddle up in bed. And yeah, fall asleep watching a Christmas movie, so that'll be fun. Here's what I'm working on at the moment, this granny square. I'm on the 4th row. This is a day 9 one. And this is what I've done over the past few days that you have not seen. So, this is a day 8 one. That one's a Mousewitch Yarns. This one as well is a day 8. This one's the My Yarny Corner one. And then you have a day 9 Mousewitch Yarns. And then day 9 My Yarny Corner. So once I've done this day 9, I'll add it all in to the blanket. And that, but yeah. Anyway, gonna go. I've got a relaxing activity planned tomorrow. I'm building flat pack furniture. it'll be relaxing if I do it on my own. If my dad gets involved, it might get a tight, might get a bit tense, because of diplomatic incidents. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go watch my Christmas film. What do you do when you get stressed out around the festive time? If it's around the festive period and I get stressed out, Christmas movie, always the way to go. Wrap presents if I can, but can't do any of them. I've done them. Write cards, again, done them. So put the Christmas film on. We'll have a see what we can watch. Yeah. But anyway, take care. I hope you're all staying well, staying safe. And if you're in the UK, you can't park on a drop cab. I'm going to go. See you all soon. Bye.